All right, sweet. We're recording. Yeah, I think this is. Oh, let's maybe get my phone out of the way. All right. So let's start off with the course yesterday. How nervous were you guys?
Oh my gosh, extremely nervous.
Right.
It's kind of different when you're dealing with adults and firearms, but I think Chris did a great job, like really bringing safety into the forefront.
Yeah.
But it's kids don't have that like, oh, I need to be safe because this thing I'm holding in my hand could kill someone.
Yeah.
You know, like, like they're probably all about video games and they don't know what a 22 bullet could actually do.
Right.
I mean, I've seen guys lose testicles off of 22 bullets. He got shot in his hip. It rattled down his leg and went straight across. Ugh. Like it's
That's
crazy.
Incredible. That the bullet. The thing that he said yesterday was that made me just keep thinking about is the bullet doesn't have a mind. It doesn't know when to stop. Mm-hmm. And you see, and then I kind of pan back in my head to Mythbusters when they shoot stuff through that jelly.
Yes.
And then I just think of your body being that piece of jelly.
Oh, yeah.
And just going everywhere.
Yeah.
Because as soon as it hits something hard, like the bone, it fragments.
Right.
And then it goes everywhere even more.
Yeah.
It's wild.
Yeah. It's to even have that concept in your brain. So to tell kids that are like 10 years old,
yeah,
like what this does, I don't think it resonates with them the way it should.
Yeah, but it stayed on such a high level that they understood it, I think.
Yeah.
I think all of them understood what was going on.
It was nice to see the progression of safe and unsafe. So when you have children picking up weapons that with their finger in the trigger, mm-hmm. like that's why we started with simulated guns too. So it was a great transition
for sure.
Yeah, and it just worked out to where they were really resonating with the information. Mm-hmm. But it's still intimidating. Teaching people firearms as a whole is intimidating. You do have that stress fracture in there. Mm-hmm. So with kids, we were just right there. Everybody was hands-on, and having the parents there as well was really cool. Mm-hmm. You know,
so. A lot of the parents have been through some of the courses that.
Yes.
Right.
Yes. So they know how to be safe with a weapon,
and they know the language too that you guys speak.
Yeah.
Which is half the battle,
in
my opinion, because I have no experience other than you guys, and knowing what you guys say and what that means.
Yeah.
You know, those commands.
But to go to point to that, like. We're not the end all be all to any type of training. Mm-hmm. And I think that some people should go out, like, because we still go to training. Some people should go out to a different trainer, and there might be something that resonates that they might say.
Yeah.
And we can't be like we're humble enough to accept that there's other people that may say things a little better than we will, or you know, but you'll still have that faction there. With us, it's more about a relationship, you know. So we build a relationship with you, so you're comfortable coming with us, and I think that that's a way to keep the retention for students, and then they'll tell other people the same thing.
Right.
So. Yeah, that's it. But we're definitely not ones to be like, you better not go to somebody else.
No, and that's something that you guys, like, no matter what the training is, if it's Krav, if it's kickboxing, if it's the gun defense, you guys are totally open to, what did you learn there?
Yeah.
Like,
absolutely.
Go there and do some recon type of stuff. You know, like, tell us what you thought was better than what we're doing, or something that they're doing that we're not doing that you'd like us to do.
Yeah.
And that's why I love the program, because it is always evolving, and not to like completely plug you guys at the Valor, but
well, you're doing a good job at plugging us. So.
It's well, it's something that I think is just so beneficial to any walk of life.
Right.
I really feel strongly that everybody who owns a gun, I feel like should go through a course.
Yeah.
And I know that that's a touchy subject,
right?
For sure. But I've seen a lot of guys come to the courses that I've been there, older guys that have been carrying around this gun for probably 20 years.
Right. Or the guys that have it for sitting in their
and never shot it.
Sitting in the dresser for 20 years.
Yeah, and never shoot the gun.
Right.
And they come to the course, and they're scared to shoot it.
Yeah.
They're not comfortable.
Right.
But they have it. So like, I feel like that first step in being a responsible gun owner is knowing how to use it. And I'm by no means a professional, but I'm at least comfortable enough to carry my gun with me. And know that it's safe.
Right.
You know,
and that you have the abilities now that you could help someone else. So there is the rule of thought is there is some really staunch constitutionalists that are like, oh, fuck the training, you know, like, that's a training company. Of course, they're going to promote training.
Yeah.
But what the fuck? We have high school diplomas, right? You know, we have driver's education. Yeah, it's their privilege to go out there and drive, right? But they still have to go through some training to do so.
Yeah.
So, you know, we're just that animal for that, you know, to try to give you that training, because there's some people out there that's having, fuck that, I got open carry and I'm such a badass. Like, I don't understand. You know, because I bet you I can get that freaking gun before you even think about unsleeving it. You know, and that's what, just because you got it on you doesn't make you a fucking cowboy.
Yeah.
You know, just because, back to cowboys, those people that wear those big fucking belt buckles and the hats never fucking rode a bull in their life.
Right.
You know, and they're like, yeah, I'm a fucking cowboy.
They got spurs on
like,
and stuff.
Seriously, bro, like you went to a cowboy concert maybe one time. You like country music, doesn't make you a cowboy.
He's got a big belt buckle, though.
Huge and a hat. Belt buckle. Yeah.
And he'll open a beer with that belt buckle.
Yeah. Sexy as hell. But
got a belly covering half of it.
Oh, it's
I'm sorry. I went there. I got a visual of a guy.
It's hard, yeah.
Like Butler Farm Show.
Oh.
I mean, how do I even not talk about that?
Yeah.
When I'm talking about these types of guys.
And they live in condos. Like, you're not on a fucking ranch.
They live in condos. Could you imagine? Some guy pulls out of like a real nice condo, and he's driving a truck because that's what you're supposed to drive with the cowboy hat and the boots on.
Yeah.
But like during the day, you're an accountant or something.
Yeah.
But on the weekends, you're a cowboy.
Yes.
And you go to like
listening to MWA.
No. No, like what do you call the in Nashville? What do you when you go to the bars?
Saloon?
No, they call it something.
I don't know. I've never privied those places.
Yeah, like, oh my God, it'll come to me later on. Anyhow,
so we're on the subject of talking fucking cowboys.
Yeah, cowboys.
How the hell did we get there? Guns. Yeah,
guns and cowboys.
Went to cowboys. Yeah,
of course it did.
I got a fucking 6-shooter. Man, I'm cursing up a storm.
You
today.
are. You're excited.
I'm on fire. But it's like it bothers me when people talk about, I've been shooting my entire life, or you guys are just trying to promote training. Like, of course I'm trying to promote training, and it's not for my pocket. It's for your benefit, for your family's benefit. That's what it is.
Yeah.
It's because I want you to know if you're going to take that lethal weapon out to protect somebody that you know how to fucking do it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like that's where it would drive me bananas.
Like if you actually got into a situation and you had your gun and you went to use it and it just didn't work.
Yeah.
Because you don't shoot it ever.
Yeah. Because your safety's still on. Because you didn't even load one in the chamber.
Yeah, you didn't have one in.
Oh, there's
so
people.
let me ask you this:
what's
what's your stance on having one in the chamber?
Oh, I'm all about it.
All about it, right?
Yeah. I mean, unless you train that way. Now, there's people that train with one chamber, they get the timeout and rack it.
Yeah.
But how many people, there's a video out there of me doing appendix carry, right? I'm a big promotioner, but I train with whatever outfit I have on if I had to get at that weapon. Mm-hmm. Because if you start to lose your shit, right, on a stressful situation, are you going to remember that you don't have one in the chamber and you're going to pull that out and freaking just start pulling the trigger and you're going to say, what the hell's going on with this thing? You have to rack it. All right. Or what's going to happen when you shoot all 6 rounds that you have in your magazine and you don't have another one? Yeah. Or you just, at adrenaline, you just dumped it, and now they know where you are. The enemy knows where you are.
Right.
And what do you do then? Have you ever learned how to load and unload or to go through a minor malfunction? You know?
Yeah.
Just having a safety, that's a malfunction.
When everything goes perfect, it's easy.
Yeah.
But nothing ever goes perfect.
No.
Especially when things are going to shit.
Yeah, absolutely not. Now, again, I'm not a combat vet. I've been in combat. Mm-hmm. In the States. I mean, I grew up in Spanish Harlem. I seen guys riding around with freaking AKs on a mountain bike.
Yeah.
You know, but you start to lose your shit. If you never put in that situation, the little level of stress that we put people in, you know, it still rattles them.
Yeah, even when you guys elevate your voices.
Oh, yeah.
And you start banging commands back to back to back to back. It's like, what the fuck? What am I doing?
Yeah.
You know, and then but the groundwork prior to that is okay, I do this step, this step, this step, this step. Okay, that step didn't work. So now we just, it's like we know how to get through it though, which is something that I don't think a lot of folks do.
Well, this is cool because you're a guy that came to us with no level of training at all.
Zero.
Nothing. You know, so you were straight out the box. Did you even have a weapon at that time? Did you have a gun at that time?
I bought a gun maybe 4 months beforehand.
4 months beforehand. But I never shot it. With the intention of you using it or to carry with it or to do training or?
I didn't know what it was for. It was for home protection.
You just So you bought a gun for home protection, and you said, you know what? Maybe I should figure out how to use it. Yeah. Shit's still in the box. Mm-hmm. I don't know what to do with this thing. How do I take it apart?
And I was super nervous to even use
touch it. Oh my gosh!
Yeah, I didn't. So what my daughter felt yesterday, I totally went through. She didn't want to shoot. She didn't want to shoot the live rounds, and I was the exact same way. Yeah. It scared me to death.
And your daughter's how old?
10.
10 years old. Yeah.
And what she went through was just that uncomfortable moment because she's in a situation now where she's understanding her mortality. She's very scared of certain things, which is good.
That is good.
You know, tornado warning the other night freaked her out.
Yeah.
Flooding freaks her out. You know what I mean? So she's starting to understand things can hurt her. She's not invincible. So that yesterday was a lot for her. And she's getting pegged with those 22 bullets.
Yes.
The casings.
That's stressful in itself.
Yeah.
So you never shot a gun and then now you get casings popped into your face.
Right. And those things pop.
They do.
Hard.
Yeah.
More so than a 9. Mm-hmm. I don't understand that.
They're coming out hot.
They are. Yeah. Not temperature hot, but speed hot.
Yes. Yeah.
I got hit with one that was 3 rows down.
Yeah.
So what we did, and this is something just through talking with her, is we ended up changing from the right-hand lane and we went to the left-hand lane. Because that seemed to be a little bit better for that part of it.
Yeah.
But I don't know where I was going with that. But anyhow, I was scared to death to touch the gun, to shoot the gun, to load the gun. I didn't know what I was doing until I went to one of these courses.
Yeah. Yeah.
And even then, when I got the airsoft gun in my hand, what'd I do? I fucking shot the roof immediately because my finger was on the trigger. Yes. So, like, what was I had no business handling a real weapon.
Yeah.
Zero business.
and that's what we deal with. Now we deal with, like you, the level of experience minimal to none. And then we deal with the guys that have been shooting the same way for 18 to 20 years. And they think that they got it all put together.
Right.
That they're like, nah, I can keyhole a piece of freaking paper, sitting at my daggone backyard. But if it comes down to a stressful situation, now what are you going to do? You're not going to keyhole anything.
Yeah. What does keyhole mean?
But where you get them in multiple, like in one hole.
Oh, okay.
So, remember like Robin Hood where you split the arrow? That's keyhole. You're keyholing. You're making a small little circle and just like, oh man, I'm such a badass.
Yeah.
Because I shoot paper and I'm doing it in a stagnant freaking knot time.
Right.
I'm in a stationary position because that's exactly how we fight. You know what I mean?
Stop.
Yes.
Let me shoot you.
Yes. Hold on, please. Don't move. Exactly. Let me take a breath. Like, there it is. All right, here we go.
All right. Are you ready?
Yeah.
I'm ready.
Yeah.
I'm ready now.
No, you can't move. Don't move. Don't move.
Stop it.
I mean,
yeah.
There was just a shooting that the guy that was trying to get into that federal building that lost his life. He freaking tried to go in. He thought he was a badass. Now, the funny thing was he had like all this tactical equipment and like he had some sort of training. Like he had it was a airborne patch and everything. Like he was in the military.
Okay.
He was in the military, lost his life to professionals.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So this is a guy that we put, this military training on a pedestal, which is great.
Sure.
I mean, I'm a veteran, but it still didn't stop him from losing his life.
Yeah.
Even though he had some level of training. So now you're talking, this is the same guy that that wrestled in high school 40 years ago, and he thinks that he doesn't need Krav or he doesn't need jiu-jitsu, he doesn't need wrestling because I know how to take care of myself. It's the same type of guy. So this guy went through that training, so he knew how to be safe with a firearm, but he still lost his life. Just because you have a weapon does not like privy you. You don't have some kind of kryptonite that says, well, I'm going to win a fight. Like I'm going to have that false sense of security, that says I'm above you now because I carry a weapon, or I have a daggone t-shirt that says I shoot first and ask questions later.
Yeah.
Like that doesn't stop you.
Yeah. It's the guy who takes the gun in the woods because he's going to shoot the bear before the bear kills him.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like even there's another podcast that I listen to, Meat Eater podcast, and it's with Steve Ranella and his gang of hunters and conservationists, and they were attacked by a grizzly up in Fognac Island. I think it's in Alaska or something. They were one of the guys in the crew was riding the grizzly bear, hitting him with one of the walking sticks. It's a great story. It's a 2-part episode, and you'll be totally captured by the episode. But
I'm captured now.
They all had guns.
But he was beating them with a stick.
I know, but guess where the gun was? In the pack. And guess where they were? Not by the pack.
Oh, my gosh. Yeah.
So,
yeah.
Even though you have it, it doesn't make you invincible. And even if you had it on you, things happen and you got to act quickly.
Right.
And having continuous training, because it's, what do you call it? What the perishable skill?
It's definitely a perishable skill.
If you don't do it time and time again, consistently, like even just training with an empty weapon, holstering, unholstering,
Yes.
punching out, stuff like that.
Yeah.
You forget how to do it.
You do.
Like you do 1,000 other things during the day.
Yes.
Aside from shooting your gun.
Right.
Like-
Right. And that's just a little part of maybe that 1% that you might have to use it.
Yeah.
But think about the pinnacle time where you might have to use it.
Mm-hmm.
It's either my kids are losing, I'm getting beat down by 10 people. This man is trying to take my wife.
Right.
Like he's trying to take my children. That's the 1% that you're gonna use it.
Yeah.
And because of the world we live in, that percentage is growing.
Sure.
It's growing. It's not getting any. It's not getting any smaller.
Mm-hmm.
We're still not to be a victim. Like that's the deal. So how do you not do that? How do you get better at anything in life?
Train.
How do you get more proficient in anything in life?
You got to do it often.
Yeah.
That's it.
If you want to be a runner, you got to run. If you want to be a shooter, you got to shoot.
Yeah.
If you want to learn how to defend yourself, you go to a daggone class to teach you how to defend yourself.
Right.
We do women's self-defense seminars, and it's not to give them a false sense of security. Like we give them some skills,
Right.
and then we want them to continue to grow on those skills. If it's not with us, it's not with us.
Mm-hmm.
I'm okay with that. Just do something to better you.
Mm-hmm.
Like why have that in your mind? I did a great woman's self-defense class and 5 years ago, but now this person got his hand around my neck and he's telling me to get in the car.
Yeah.
And what?
Yeah, so much happens to us. This is something that I've noticed is, and you kind of alluded to it earlier, is once I do it once, I have it. It's in there. Like I don't have to continue to do it. I know that I can do it now because I did it once.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought about that today while I was running too, was like, it's easy to do things once, even if it's a really big goal.
Yeah.
Even if it's something really, really big, it's so hard to continue to do that over and over and over and over again.
Right.
It's really difficult.
Yeah.
It's easy to do it once. It's easy to do a lot of things once.
Mm-hmm.
But once you do it, you fall back into those old habits because you got good habits for a little bit, right? I'm eating right. I'm exercising all the time. I'm drinking my water because I have X goal, right? Whatever it is, a 5K, run a mile, whatever it is.
Right.
I don't care what the goal is, but it almost seems like once we reach a goal, in our minds, a big goal, we stop.
Yes.
Which is the craziest thing to me because you work so damn hard to get there.
Mm-hmm.
And you got there because you weren't happy with what you were doing before.
Right.
But yet, once we reach that goal, we fucking go the whole way back.
Yes.
Immediately.
Yeah.
What do you do after the big goal? I celebrate. Woohoo! I celebrate. That's what I do.
Mm-hmm.
Why? Why?
Then push yourself to the next goal.
Yeah, if it gets like Andy Frisella says, if it's easy, do something more. David Goggins, same thing. If it's easy, do more.
Mm-hmm.
And that's how I feel about some of these skills that we're learning is like, okay, green belt test, that's easy now. What's next?
Yeah.
What's next? And that's a sickness I have.
Yeah. Well,
But-
because we like to fail.
Yeah. It's weird. And I know a lot of people don't, of course, but I think we get a false sense of security when we do reach a goal. We think it's like the guy that played high school and scored the winning touchdown.
Right.
He thinks he can do that right now.
Bundy, the Al Bundy guy.
Yeah, the Al Bundy guy. It's like, bro, you can't do that.
Yeah.
Guaranteed.
You can't even fit that jacket anymore.
Yeah. You can't even fit asleep. What are you doing? You're big. You're a big boy.
Yeah.
What are we doing here? It's like fat guy in a little
yeah.
coat.
Yeah. You're trying to stay on those glory days. You're trying to live on that glory day. But you have to keep promoting yourself. Like you told me one day we were in class, you was like, oh man, we got to get some of that jits in here. I was like, well, why the fuck not?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I was like, hey, Ron, we working on jits. So
I was so pumped.
yeah. And I was like, hey, guess what? Jits is on the schedule Fridays.
Mm-hmm.
Bro, you were there.
Fuck yeah, I was.
And then now you're rolling around with freaking other men that had the same mentality you did.
It is. I got to be honest. The mentality of everybody in martial arts is, and I think I said this in the podcast earlier, was like, I can't believe that there were these people out there, and I wasn't around them, because they're the exact type of people that I like to be around. Mm-hmm. Guys that don't give a shit where you're from.
Yeah,
they don't care. They really don't care. Like, what job you have. They don't care how much money you have. They don't care where you live. They don't care what... Those things don't come up.
Right.
They don't come up.
Yeah. You're on the mat, bro.
Yeah.
Like, you're equal.
Everybody is equal there.
Yeah.
Not really equal.
Yeah.
As far as level of expertise. But you get it. And
right.
everybody is just super humble. And it's not even just jiu-jitsu. It's the Krav kids.
That's what's good about martial artists, I think. You know, like... For one, we continue to fail. Mm-hmm. You know, we just continue to strive to do something, and we really don't care anything about you. You walk in there, commend you to walk in. You know, everybody. One thing about martial, everybody's a white belt, mm-hmm. right? So people tend to forget. Like, remember your day one of work, where you didn't know what the hell you were getting into. Yeah. And then now you're 15 years in the company and like, you know stuff, but you want to shit on that person that just walked through the door.
So messed up, yeah.
Like, you don't do that in martial art. Martial artists don't do that.
I've never seen that happen.
Like, you don't. Like, you walk in and be like, man, I'm so excited that you're here. I'm pumped that you're here. Come on.
Yeah.
Let me get you through this because I want to see you succeed.
It's so crazy that every single person that has been there for a little bit, that's what they do.
Yeah.
Nobody's a dick.
Yeah.
Like nobody wants you to not come back.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's really
when you roll and get sweaty with another man or another person,
yeah,
you just like you build some kind of camaraderie. It's a crazy thing.
It's like exchanging microbiomes with one another, and
sometimes it gets crazy. You know, we got Mr. Chad that
yeah,
like I got more Chad DNA than
the Krav Maga, as Trey says, the Krav Maga. Yeah.
But we continue to grow. Like, I don't mind that. Like,
yeah.
Because I want him to feel good. I want to feel good. I want to get the training. That's why I'm there.
Yeah.
You know? Like,
yeah. Anybody who walks through those doors, they're in a mindset because, A, they got off their couch.
Right.
They got in their car. They drove to wherever they're training at. And they got the courage enough to actually get out of their car. Mm-hmm. And walk inside.
Yep. And touched and be touched by people they don't know.
Even just to get in the doors before they even get on the mat
that's a win.
That's a win.
Yep.
That is an absolute win because now you know their mindset. You know they're there because they want to be there. Nobody drugged them in there.
Right.
They want to be there.
Mm-hmm.
Those are the type of people that I love being around.
Yeah. Day in and day out, they're coming. You know, where when people said to me, I'm so missing Krav because I'm going on vacation, and they come back and they're like even more on fire. Like I had a couple students they came back and they were like kicking the pad, like
yeah.
And I was like, did you have some pent up stuff? Like, what's going on? It was like, oh no, I missed kicking and hitting stuff. You know, I missed growing.
Mm-hmm.
Like when I don't ever want to get into that point in my life where I'll be like, I just don't want to grow no more. Yeah. I don't want to do this no more.
Right.
Like, I hope that never happens to me.
We were just talking about jumping out of airplanes yesterday.
Yes.
Talk about growing.
I never wanted to do that. Never.
But that just tells you where you're at.
Yeah.
Like, so far outside of your comfort zone, you really like, jump out of a fucking airplane?
Yeah.
Yeah, let's do it.
Yeah.
Like that's the type of goals that you're setting now.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We're just, and it doesn't start there. You know, it doesn't start there.
Yeah.
You'd be lying to yourself. You're like, yeah, I just set big goals and that's what I do.
Yeah.
This is what I do.
Yeah.
Like,
back to your whole.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Like
that's not what you just do.
Yeah. You can't even get out the
big
damn
dummy.
couch. Yeah, you can't even
You're
get
the
up.
guy who talks about stuff.
Like, oh yeah, hey, you know what? You want to learn? You want to learn Krav? You want to learn Jits? Come on up.
Yeah.
Oh well, not. It's not the right time. For
Never
that.
the
Shut
right
up.
time.
Shut up.
Right time.
You just freaking make time or not? Do you want to get goals or not? Do you want to lose weight or not? Do you want to stop smoking or not?
It was something that I was talking about with Alyssa yesterday. Is I quit chewing, quit drinking, all of it. Just
Nice.
yeah.
I guess.
Yeah. And then I was like, no fun. You know? But it was I don't know if it's forever. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I know I'm not putting an end date on it, but it's something that bothered me.
What did?
Just not feeling like I could control things.
Oh.
I felt I was out of control.
Like you were excessive?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, then that's
always excessive.
That's a good self-awareness.
Look at my life.
Yeah.
It's always excessive.
That's a good self-aware.
Yeah, for
You
sure.
know, like I'm cool with drinking one glass of a good bourbon, and I'm done.
Yeah.
Like that's me being self-aware because I have that bad gene in me. You know, regardless of what you think, you know, alcoholism is. You know what I mean? But I have that.
Yeah, for sure.
That gene in me that could take me from freaking out of control level of excess.
Yeah, I had the same thing. I mean, everybody in my family.
Yeah. Yeah.
Early deaths.
Yeah. Cirrhosis of the liver.
Everybody.
I got
I would
three of
say
them.
everybody, but you get it.
I got three of them.
Three of
in my
them?
family.
Yeah.
Cirrhosis of the liver. So when do you get so much into your mind where you're just like, I just gotta have it, and I'm gonna do it until I die.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I'm killing myself slowly.
Yeah, and you know it.
Yeah.
Like you know you're doing it. Like it's no surprise.
Yeah.
That you have liver problems because you drink every day.
And I gotta have another one.
It's so weird.
It's
And that's
so-
where I didn't want to get.
Yeah.
Is really what it comes down to. And I don't think I was there, but it was like when I had an opportunity to, it went hard.
like hard.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I'd never been that guy to
I
go.
was that guy.
You can't be that social or positional drinker.
Yeah, for the last 2 years, last year, that's more what it was. Like I could be social.
Yeah.
Yeah, it wasn't anything too crazy, but it just, I don't know, I just felt like it brought out weird things in me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Just like weird habits.
Weird habits.
Yeah.
Like
Just say
sex
weird
habits?
stuff.
Oh, you say weird stuff.
Yeah, like just be mean. It was more mean.
Oh.
I was just mean.
Yeah.
Like I was snarky, but I was mean about it.
I
I just didn't like it.
Well, you
I was
being
mean to my wife, even.
Oh,
You know what
no,
I mean?
no.
Like just not trying to be mean, but it was just being mean.
yeah.
It was just not nice, funny around.
That's
That was not okay.
That's not cool.
No.
Well, I remember there was one point I was out there drinking with Chris, and he had some nasty freaking whiskey that, like, as soon as it hit my mouth, like, I was angry instantly.
Weird.
And I was like, no way. And I went home, and I walked in the door. I said, babe, I'm going straight to bed. She was like, you all right? I said, yep. I'll talk about it later, because I knew I had that in me. Like,
Yeah.
I know my level. You know, like I know. I'm trying to think of the commonality, the stagmus. You know, or I know my status quo of what I'm comfortable with.
And then
what I'm
whenever you
not.
feel outside of that, you know something's off.
Yep, something's off. So I need to alleviate that. I need to go and just chill. Be by my. Went to sleep, woke up, and I was like, babe, I was angry last night. She was like, I knew something was off.
Yeah.
You know, and I was just like, but I didn't want to get into some bullshit.
Yeah.
You know.
That's interesting. You could do that while you, like, after you drank.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I mean? To even still be aware enough to do that. It's impressive.
Well, and I felt impressed that day.
Yeah.
Like, because I knew, like, this is not Like,
This isn't normal.
I've been in bad relationships, and I have a great one now, so I would hate to ruin it.
Yeah.
Because I want to sit there and drink with Chris's silly ass,
Yeah.
and
Some nasty
just,
whiskey.
Yeah. Ugh. It's horrible. I said, never again. I texted him. I said, don't you ever try to bring me into that level of dumbness again.
That grossness.
Yeah.
It feels gross when that stuff happens.
Yeah. Just know, but you know it. Like, what's your right and what's your wrong. And there's people that don't. And I think that may have been people in our family, that just didn't know where their level was.
Well, it also becomes normal. In my experience, like, just that type of drinking becomes normal.
Yeesh.
Like, that's what everybody does. Any occasion, there's booze there.
Yeah.
And I never understood, like, honest to God, I never really understood an event without alcohol.
Huh.
And it's easy for me to see it now because I surround myself with people that don't necessarily have to, drink or whatever. And there's events that we go to that don't have alcohol. But growing up, every event that I went to, it didn't matter if it was a Little League baseball game. Like, didn't matter. Somebody was drinking.
Trick or treating.
Yeah, trick or treating. Everybody had a flask.
That's crazy.
I'm telling you.
It's like my thing now. I don't know.
Yeah,
trick or treating with
trick or treating with the whiskey. Yeah. And again, I'm not saying that there's anything wrong with drinking at all. I don't think that there's something taboo about alcohol or anything like that. It's just not for me right now.
Right.
But I don't. It's one of those things too where I'm not uncomfortable around it.
Yeah. Yeah. Like, you're not gonna judge me for having a drink.
Right.
Yeah.
It's just. But yeah, growing up, there was always alcohol, always.
Yeah.
I mean, my family is just riddled with it.
Which is.
I mean, I don't have a mother now as a result of it.
Yikes.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, and it's been a couple other people that are. I mean, they're still alive, but I mean, with DUIs and stuff like that, and then it's one of those things too where once you start down that hole, you can't get out of it. Because you can't get a real job after that.
Yeah.
I don't want to say you can't, but it is very difficult.
You talking about DUI?
Yeah. Once you get a DUI or you get in trouble or you get arrested, you commit some stupid felony, you're fucked.
Yeah. And that's unfortunate. Like, and I'm in the Department of Corrections field, so you see mistakes.
Yeah.
And there are mistakes that I could have easily been down,
Yeah.
Not all of them, but there's definitely mistakes, so I'm going to fault this person for the rest of their life because of a mistake that they've done.
Yeah.
Regardless of nobody thinks about the outer lining circumstances either, the environment that they live in or what's a norm to them.
The environment is so big.
Yeah. What's the norm to them? Like, that was normal. Like I said, I've been around people that were riding a mountain bike with a freaking AK sticking out.
That's insane to me that you saw that.
Oh,
I think about it a lot, actually.
What?
I do. And the fact that you have been able to make such a good life for yourself.
Yeah. That was
coming from just what you tell me. I don't know where you came from other than what you say. And you have no reason to lie. So I believe you.
I don't need to change.
Exactly. And just, I don't know. It's really cool that you've been able to kind of rise up from that, and want to empower others. And it just seems like that is not the norm.
Yeah.
Everybody loves to make excuses and to stay in an environment that they know is toxic, but they normalize it. And once they normalize it, they're stuck.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Like, I knew, and I've said this before, but I knew at an early age that this was not for me. I mean, I was growing up in the project. At age 11, I was like, This is not some place that I want to be. Like, I know there's something more. I know there's other people that don't think this way. I know in these blocks that my projects were, because it went from 112th Street to 115th Street, from First Avenue and Second Avenue. Like, these were Jefferson Park projects. Like, I knew that there was something outside. Then we also had a first and a second half. So that was my little area. Second half was only, like, that was the boundary line. People from first half didn't like people from second half. And it was the same projects.
So weird.
It's crazy to me.
That tribal mentality.
Yes. Yeah, like, no, these y'all from first half.
Yeah, but you guys are all in the same shit.
Yes, in the same bullshit.
Yeah.
Yes. And it was just like I knew, like, this wasn't for me.
How small-minded.
Like, we couldn't go at a certain time to a park because the crackheads were lined up waiting to get their fix. 50, 60 deep. Wow. In a line. And they had freaking, like, armed guards. Like, the drug dealers were keeping control of this. And that's normal? Like, that was sick. I was like, why? At 11 years old, I'm like, I can't do this.
Yeah.
I can't do it. There's no absolute way that this could be normal. So for people to continue to grow up in that, because I was fortunate not to continue to grow up in that.
Right.
You know, people would see that and be like, oh, shit, that's just Johnny the crackhead freaking smoking up in the elevator. And crack stinks, by the way. It's fucking horrible. It's like burning hair and ass.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like the worst of any freaking, like, it's horrible. But, like, the fact that I know what the hell that smells like, that's not normal.
No.
And that's something that I don't want my kids to do. That's something, like, I don't want that to be normal.
So let me ask you this too then. And this is something that Alyssa and I go back and forth about is, like, you do everything you possibly can to fix what you don't think is normal, right? For your kids.
Right.
And then, like, I'm sure our parents tried to do that the same. And yet there's still things that are going to happen.
Yes.
But it's like, at what point do you stop trying to, not fix everything for your child? Yeah. Like, when do you stop trying to fix everything for your kid?
Yeah.
And let them fall. Let them see some shit.
I've been battling with this for probably, this has been a new thought process
because
for me.
what makes us so gritty is all that shit.
Right.
All of that stuff we saw and lived through and overcame makes us that gritty person. Makes us. I know that I'm speaking for you too, but I know that it curdles our blood to the point that it moves us.
Yeah. Yep.
Because we want to strive to do better. And I think it's for our kids, ultimately for ourselves, but definitely for our kids. And
we want different for them.
Yeah.
But
you still want them to appreciate that.
Absolutely. So, like, my son now, he can get $110 freaking sneakers. You know, like, what? Are you kidding me? Like, I was getting $25 shoes. And I'd rock the shit out of them too.
Of course
bro.
You would.
You know what I mean?
Shined up with some toothpaste.
It was crazy. Like, I remember the whole thing of not using shoe polish, Vaseline.
Oh.
For my shoes, if they were like tucked in a closet somewhere, and I had to, you know, at that time I was Catholic, so if I had to go to church on Christmas, because that's when we went,
right?
You know, like we got the Vaseline out to shine the shoes. You know, where now my son's getting $110 freaking shoes. Like, I never had Jordans coming up. Never shine. Treats them like shit. You know, like, are you kidding me?
Yeah. But then we get mad about that.
Yeah. I'm like, you freaking
ungrateful.
Spoiled.
Yeah. Every name in the book.
So like, all right. So it goes back to your point. Where's the pinnacle? Like, where do you give them too much or you don't give them enough? And like, where the hell does it go from there? Like where's that sway?
Or do we always figure out a way to hate our parents anyhow and hate our situation anyhow, that nothing is ever going to be good enough. And no matter what you do, as long as you instill the right mindset and the right set of values to them, they'll do better.
That's got to be it.
Has to be.
That's got to be it.
Because no matter how good your life is, you always find some bullshit.
Yeah.
Growing up to hate
Yeah.
about your parents, about
Right.
where you live. Doesn't matter.
You took my phone.
Yeah.
What do you mean? I took your phone. Shit, I didn't even have a cell phone when I was growing up, and I
Yeah.
spent $1,000 for your phone.
That's Game Boys and comic books
Yeah.
from 20 years ago. Like, you took my comic books, you took my Game Boy. You know, there's always something in the generation. Like, I don't know, go far back and you took my stick and my wheel. I don't know.
Yeah.
But we always take stuff, and they always hate us for it. Mm-hmm. And I feel like as long as they respect you enough to understand that you did it for a good reason, it makes them want to do better.
Yeah. I don't think we get outside enough. I think if we're going to be parents, regardless of what we give them, let's say we go camping, regardless if it's a tent, if it's an RV, if it's a cabin, regardless of what it is, like, you still have to have, like you said, you give them that moral, their values, their time as a family, however that looks. I think that's got to be the foundation right there. As far as, like, regardless of the other shit that we give them or that we try to coddle of them.
Yeah.
I think if we continue that, our moral compass of what's right and what's wrong, treating people the right way, like, I think if we stay consistent with that, regardless of what the outer looks like, as long as the inner is the same.
Yeah.
I think that's going to help them grow.
Yeah, so they don't have to live through really shitty circumstances.
Like, they don't have to live through Johnny the crackhead.
Yeah.
To understand, like, that's wrong.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? It could be like, hey, look, you can't hang out with your girlfriend while we're going on a family trip.
It's almost like you can get a better set of values. I don't want to say better set of values. I guess it's just a different set, and almost evolve it further. Because, okay, I don't have to deal with, like, that bottom layer of Johnny the crackhead.
Right.
I can start at, you took my phone.
Yes.
And kind of just circumvent all of that because you've already done all that.
Yes.
So we get to be kind of that sacrifice that puts them further ahead.
Are we figuring it out right now?
I think I just did.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. Like, seriously, like, that has to be, we have to know our nucleus. We have to know our foundation of what we want our children to look like. And and seriously, I've had this freaking thought process. Like, I came out okay knowing Johnny the crackhead.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But I think I came okay because I had that foundation.
Right.
And what I wanted and what I didn't want. Like, I didn't have a great family makeup when I was raised by my mother.
Yeah.
And I didn't have that mother-father role.
Yeah.
So now I knew that, okay, my family makeup, some of the things that I'm going to put in my blocks of foundation is a mother-father aspect, where I can do that. And they don't need to come from a divorced household to see what's right and what's wrong. Let me make this block to be the mother-father role. Like, me and my wife, we got a huge house because we wanted that house to be the nucleus of the family. Like, we want them to come back and change those type of events and create those type of social norms, opposed to Johnny the crackhead, or as opposed to going to a family gathering where there's booze and people are draped all over the floor.
Yeah.
That's the type of shit we don't want. Let's have one that's having pool parties and slip and slides.
Yeah.
Not having, Uncle Larry and Aunt Jane freaking fighting because he's pissed off drunk.
Yeah.
That's the type of shit that we can start to pull out.
Absolutely.
Regardless of how that looks.
Yeah.
It's
just something, like you said, I think about it even whenever you're just stupid discipline, you didn't brush your teeth or you didn't brush your hair, stuff like that. I don't know. Being a parent's weird. It's really weird.
And nobody's figured it out.
No, of course not.
Look how many damn books there are.
Yeah.
Like, seriously, How to Raise Your Kid for Dummies.
Yeah.
And then how many people that don't, but the kids love them anyway.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
I wonder, too, like, whenever you don't have that mother or the big family thing, if that's another reason why, like, we want to create a big community of people.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, that piece is missing out of your psyche.
Mm-hmm.
If that pushes us kind of subconsciously to want to get as many people as we can.
Yeah. My thing, I think to me, it's like a penance. Like, I've seen so much bullshit, and I wanted that bullshit to change. Like,
Yeah.
I've seen, and I've done some pretty dumb things in my life.
Sure.
And I've hurt a lot of people relationships, personal relationships, people that I didn't even know that I affected.
Yeah.
You know? And now I'm like, you know what? It's time for me to grow the hell up and leave an awesome legacy to be like, oh, that's a Diaz kid. You know, oh, that's a Jordan's kid. Or, hey, that's Valor. Like, they don't really care about who the hell they're trying to, you know, take care of, but that's what they want to do.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like, that's the kind of community, that's the kind of legacy that I want to leave for my kids, for my family, because I think if we do that little pinnacle,
yeah,
you know, we're just a cog in a freaking wheel.
Sure.
You know, of creating good people. You know, if it's fitness, if it's firearms, if it's self-defense, gut health, losing weight, you know, like, I just want you to be good, man. Like, I just want you to understand that life is so much more than your little ass problems, you know, get through that shit.
Mm-hmm.
And however the hell that looks, you know, or understand that maybe this is not the part that I need, but this is. You know, and if I give you any one of those points, then I'm doing what the hell I'm supposed to do.
Right.
You know?
Yeah, kind of meet them where they're at and let them figure that out.
Yeah. Yeah.
And just support them.
That's it. Regardless of how that looks for them.
Right.
You know?
Yeah, that support piece, man, that's where it's at.
Yeah.
Like I was saying earlier with that person that comes in the doors at the gym.
Mm-hmm.
Just that support. I go back to whenever I came in for my first Krav class.
Yeah.
Who greeted me? You did.
Fuck yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And we partnered up. You partnered up with me that day. Like, I don't know. It's a powerful thing.
Yeah.
Immediately, I had a bond with you.
And you know what's funny? Like, I don't remember that.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, and I'm so glad that it's even better than that. Like, I'm so glad that I was in that part at that moment for you to fucking continue to come the next day. Mm-hmm. Like, that right there is better than anything. Like, that's my breath right there. Like, yes.
And that's a testimonial to the person you are, though, because you do that to so many people that's just what you do. Yeah. You don't have to remember every single person that you instill that in, you know, that's not the important part.
Yeah.
You know, the important part is the consistency of that attitude that you have. And I think that's why you have your own school now. And it's why you're doing things so well, and creating this community. And I'm just glad to be a part of it.
Yeah, my man. And I like this whole podcast, like, it was just sweet for you to even say, fuck yeah, let's do it. Yeah. Because if you don't have those fucking positive people around you, because how many people be like, what the hell are you talking about? How many people did we talk about that know, like, what the hell are you doing, a podcast? Oh, it's something I've always wanted to do in my life. And like,
oh my God, everybody.
You fucking, oh yeah, you're that type of person. You know, like, what do you mean I'm that type of person? That person that wants to push people?
Right.
Like, why is that an issue?
A lot of people do think that's an issue. They think it's an issue. Oh, you just want to hear yourself talk? You just want to talk? Yeah. Yeah, I do. I like all of it. Yeah. I like every part of this. I like the failing part. I like the succeeding part. Mm-hmm. I like the competitive part. I love the camaraderie. I love the friendships that I've made. Every part of it. Love it. Yeah. And I can't stop fucking talking about it. Because you know what? I love it. Yeah. And when you love something, like, it's just like a fucking Penguins fan or a Steelers fan. What do you talk about? You talk about them.
Yeah. Yeah.
So how is it any different to talk about what I like?
Right.
Because I'm sure there's thousands of other people that like just what I like.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And
That's
there's
why-
thousands of other people
Yeah.
that want to succeed in whatever the hell it is they're doing. Whether it's creating the next microchip or whatever it is, solving some medical issue. If you can't get past your own shit, you're never going to do it.
Right.
It doesn't have to be physical fitness. That's just what I've attached myself to.
Mm-hmm.
But what we're doing is more about letting people understand that you're alive. You are alive, and you can make decisions to get to the next step and the next part of your life. You don't have to stay stuck.
No.
And so many people stay stuck.
Right.
And
The coulda, shoulda, woulda people.
And I'm there. I've been there.
Yeah.
I've been stuck. Been stuck. Hard stuck. And it only takes one person to change it.
Yeah. Fuck
know?
yeah.
One person to support you in your decision.
And if we can be that person.
If you don't have anybody else, I'll be that.
Yep. Like I tell those people that when I do training,
Yeah.
like it says, hey, somebody loves you. So what are you going to do to get home to the person that loves you? And if nobody loves you, I'll be the one to take that on.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Fight for your life. Somebody fucking loves you. If not, this guy does.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I'm telling you, it sounds freaking weird. It sounds weird until you don't have somebody because you've been such a dick.
Yeah.
And you don't have anybody. And then you're sitting there by yourself. Then you're real stuck.
Yeah. I heard something this morning. It says, love is not a feeling. Love is not a feeling. Love is a mindset. Love is something that, like, I love you. I want you to do the right things. I want you to be successful. I want you to be the person so you can motivate somebody else.
Right.
Like, it's not that like, hoity-toity, like, oh, what's love? Like that when you were a teenager, and like, I love you.
Yeah,
you wanna
yeah,
hold
yeah.
hands. Like it's not that.
That's different.
It's a whole lot bigger than that.
Yeah.
You wanna promote that type of thing. You want to promote good people. You want to promote good tactics. You want to promote good values, good feelings. You want to promote that.
For sure.
Like that's the type of love. Not like, oh, I love you so much, I can't live without you. Like, and my mother calls it lengua sandwiches.
Lengua sandwiches?
Yes. So lengua in Spanish is tongue.
Yeah.
So when you were making out with Betty Sue, or with me, it was Marisol, in the corner. That's not love. That's just freaking some puppy crap.
That's lingua sandwich.
Lengua sandwiches.
Lengua sandwiches. I love it. That is now the title of this episode. Lengua sandwiches. Thank you, Diaz mother.
My man. All right. Let's wrap this.
All right. Anything you want to plug?
No, just keep following us.
Yeah, where can they follow you at?
GC Regan _ Valor PDS on Instagram, and then Valor Combat Academy on Facebook. We got 3 different locations. We got the headquarters. We got Valor Combat at Hermitage and Valor Combat at Meadville. ValorPDS.com for some firearms courses.
Sweet.
My man.
And then you can find me at Ambitious Distractions on Instagram and on Facebook. Thank you guys for listening.